Ladies and gentlemen, NFL's Week 3 is in the books. If you didn't know who the hell I am, well, you better get familiar, because I'm the diligent, vigilant, meticulous, sagacious, conscientious, analytical, methodical individual, the Chiseled Adonis. And this is the Chiseled Adonis post-week review. Week 3 is now in the books. Now, I told you last week, all right? I told you the Browns was going to go out there and get their first victory. And what happened? They win. They beat down the Jets on Thursday Night Football. Now, it wasn't that classic beatdown. Oh, no, but once Mayfield came into the game, it seemed like the Jets done ran out of fuel. Let's review everything that went down. Number one, the Jets lost 21-17. Baker Mayfield came in the game, took over for discount Michael Vick. Tyrod Taylor sent that man to the back of the bench. He's no longer going into the game. Baker Mayfield's now the starter. That man, I'm not going to say he's legit yet, because you only seen him for one half of football, or I should say about 2.5 quarters of football. People are going out there, losing their mind. He might go and win the MVP. Don't get ahead of yourself, all right? We've got way more football to go. Remember, when Manziel came in the game, he looked all right too. All right? Hell, Ryan Leaf looked good the first 2 games. He threw some interceptions, but he looked promising. And what happened? So we ain't going to be talking about that. But congratulations to the Browns. You guys got a hell of a roster. Hellacious defense. Hellacious defense. The offense just got to get stuff moving. Now with Baker calling the shots, maybe that could happen. Trusted in Hugh. You guys trusted in Hugh? I hope you can turn it around into something. I predicted between 5 to 7 wins this year. Do not let me down. Now next, we got the Buffalo Bills absolutely dismantling the Minnesota Vikings. A lot of people coming out right now, because understand, like I always say, I don't take football serious until about week 4 to week 6. Vikings always, you got that all-world defense, as my phone's going off. They got that all-world defense that they got, but offensively, they got to get things going. Like as you saw last week against Green Bay, Stephon Diggs, Adam Thielen, Kirk Cousins, he was able to get the ball diversified around. Kyle Rudolph, the red zone reindeer, he was in the end zone as well. He actually scored their lone touchdown this past game. However, their run game has to get established. You got Dalvin Cook coming back. Last year, he was hurt with that, what was it, the torn ACL? Whatever it was. They got to get the ground game established so they can open up that playbook. But this particular game against the Bills, that Bills defense was on 10. I don't know if Vontae Davis was the problem. Now, I pointed it out in my commentary. I think Vontae Davis is now trying to tell Wong, let me leave Sanctum. I would like to go back to Buffalo and go play. But Wong is telling him, the time stone has not yet been returned. We must protect Sanctum at once. So, basically, that's what's going on. But the Bills, phenomenal defensive play. And might I add, Josh Allen came in the game and played great football for the first half. Of course, second half, they just conserved their lead, but he played phenomenal in the first half. I'm not going to go out there and say, oh man, he's a real deal. It's one game. All right, let's not jump ahead of ourselves. But for Bills Mafia, I'm sure there were tables breaking, furniture were moving. They were beside themselves after a beautiful, masterful win in week 3. Congratulations to the Buffalo Bills. All right, good defense. Let's just figure out what the hell you can do besides running the ball and handing it to Shady McCoy, because the Bills have been one-dimensional over the last 3 years. They got to get that pass game going. I'm hoping Kevin Benjamin can become a big-time target and possibly become a Pro Bowl receiver, but we'll see how things unfold. For the Vikings, no reason to panic. Just got to get the ebb and flow going on offense. The defense is all right. The defense is all right. The offense got to get going, because the Bills defense just played phenomenal. It's not the terrible play of the Vikings. The Bills were just all-world defense this past week. If I'm a Vikings fan, I wouldn't be too worried. If I'm a Bills fan, I should be a little bit hopeful. Next, we got the, why people messaging me? They know I'm recording. The Giants taking on the Texans. The Giants beat the Texans. All right, now this game was absolutely atrocious for the Texans' offensive line. Because honestly, if they gave Deshaun Watson 4 to 5 seconds, I don't think this game is even close. I think the Texans possibly brought out the Giants, but that's not what happened, because the defensive line of the Giants looked like the defensive line of the Giants of old, and I'm talking 2016. I'm not going to go back to the days of Umenyiora and Strahan. Oh no, we're not talking about those teams and Tuck and all the other crew, as Stephen A. Smith would say. But, they got penetration up front, and they were able to keep Deshaun Watson uncomfortable moving around, whether it was in the pocket, running out of the pocket. He doesn't do what the veteran QBs do, and that step up in the pocket, going towards the line of scrimmage with your eyes forward. He scrambles to his left. He scrambles to his right, trying to find people open. And lo and behold, those Giants corners and safeties and linebackers who were in coverage did a phenomenal job holding back the dreadlocks, whether it was Will Fuller, whether it was DeAndre Hopkins. Now, they both ended up finding the end zone. In DeAndre Hopkins' case, I believe it got called back. But nonetheless, they did an all right game, but up front, they could not block. As for the Texans, if I were you guys, it's time to go looking for a running back. Lamar Miller, sorry, buddy, it's not working out. It is not working out. It's been 3 games. You haven't really done anything. You got to get somebody. On top of that, they need to get themselves a tight end as well. Defensively, the Texans did what they could. They contained Saquon Barkley for the most part. They contained Odell for the most part. They were able to get to Eli Manning. J.J. Watt has finally got himself a sack in over 2 years. He had 3, I believe, and a forced fumble or a fumble recovery. I think it was a forced fumble. Whatever it was, he played a very good game. Jadeveon Clowney, where the hell are you? All right? Evidently, there's supposed to be circus on the field. They're looking for a clown. That's supposed to be you, fam. Have party. Have party. Have fun. Join the party. Be a clown on the field. Lose your mind. There was an outbreak of clowns 2 years ago. What happened? You went to the Pro Bowl, didn't you? It's about time you start playing football. Jadeveon, get it done. Merciless over there, what's his first name? Quincy or something with a Q. I think it is, but somebody let me know. But yeah, Merciless, he's playing all right. He's playing good. The Texans defense, it's there. They just need their offensive line to get things going. I feel like something's in my eye. Nonetheless, good victory for the Giants. Saquon Barkley still looks good, but I'm going to need more games in order to really take this talent seriously. I mean, his fundamentals are absolutely stupendous. Some of the quickest bursts I've seen since Barry Sanders. All right? But, I'm not going to jump the gun until I see a full season from this man. The offensive line is atrocious. We know this. However, I got to see more in order for me to sing those high praises of you and make it solidified. All right, next, we got ourselves the Packers took on the Redskins. The Redskins won this game. I believe I predicted the Redskins to win this game. Why? Because I did not think the Packers could stop the run. And they didn't. AP went over 120 yards. He scored twice. Fuck out of here, Mark Ingram. And he did well for himself. Alex Smith was able to diversify the ball around the field. He was hitting all his targets down the field. As for the Packers offense, you know they do what they do. Rodgers is able to move the ball, but defensively, the Packers have always been bad. They have been bad since their Super Bowl team. They got to get stuff done. I will point this out, though. It seems like the refs have something out for Clay Matthews. I don't know if they're not liking the hair. I don't know if they're against Head and Shoulders shampoo. I don't know what the deal is. They keep throwing roughing the passer calls on Clay Matthews. More importantly, there's a bunch of roughing the passer calls around the NFL. Stay tuned. The video is coming soon. But ridiculous. Absolutely atrocious. But I'm not going to sit here and say the Packers lost this game simply on the hands of the refs. Oh no. Their first half woes is what cost them the game. They could not stop the run. They could not get off the field at third down. The damn Redskins were able to continue to extend drives. And if you keep the ball out of Aaron Rodgers' hands, you have a better chance to win. It's the exact same thing that happened on Sunday night against Brady with the Lions. But we ain't talking about that right now. I will get to it in a little bit. But congratulations to the Redskins. They got it done. They were able to run the football effectively. Adrian Peterson, this man is not washed up, all right? Let me point something out to you. That Redskins up front line, all right? Their O-line is not some top 10 in the league. None of that, all right? Adrian Peterson can still go. Is he running at the same 4.3 speed that he was when in his prime? Absolutely not. But he still can go. Trust and believe this man will have himself a 1,000-yard season if he continues to run like this. And I have full confidence that he will. As for the Redskins, they need themselves a legit number 1 receiver. I don't know if they got to call up Dez because they said, oh, we don't want Dez. They got Jamison Crowder out there. They got, I'm forgetting the Doxson. Is it Doc? I think it is Doxson. They got him as well. He looks promising. But outside of those two, I don't know who else they got. Because let's just be honest, Crowder is a glorified slot receiver. He can play all over the field, but he's better in the slot. They need somebody predominantly for outside. I would say call Dez. Although he is a bit of occasional hand, led the league in drops, he can give you that solidified number 1 receiver on the field. He don't have to get all them targets, but the defense will treat him as such. He'll get that single coverage because they don't respect him enough to give him double coverage, and I believe he can beat single coverage about 7 out of 10 times. So you guys should be looking for a number 1 receiver, but nonetheless, congratulations to the Redskins. As for the Packers, you gotta get that defense going. Gotta get that defense going. Next, we had the 49ers took on the Chiefs, and the Chiefs move on to 3-0 for the second year in a row. Mahomes, this man is on fire. Absolutely on fire. But this is still the Kansas City Chiefs. I cannot take them serious until week 8 because this is what Kansas City does. More importantly, this is what Andy Reid led teams do. They look phenomenal the first half of the season, and in the second half, they start to go on a decline. Similar to Tom Coughlin's teams. But in this case with the Chiefs, everybody's getting in on the fun. Everybody's getting a plate at the dinner table. All right, because I can't name a receiver on the Chiefs or a running back on the Chiefs that's yet to score. I think all of them got into the end zone. And Mahomes is looking phenomenal. His pocket presence is that of the elite quarterbacks right now. He's able to maneuver in and out of the pocket with no hesitation. He's not sitting there questioning himself. He does it darn near effortlessly. I think this guy's the real deal. Now, it is very early to be saying and singing all these high praises, similar to Mayfield. I've only seen 4 games from Mahomes, because if you're forgetting, he started the last game of the season last year. But nonetheless, this guy, he's looking all right, but maybe the flame will expire at one point. But for the Chiefs, well-oiled machine offensively. Defensively, the issues still remain. The secondary giving up a lot of yards. Now, they didn't give up all them yards this particular game. However, the holes were there. Had Jimmy G had the time, you probably would have been able to get the ball to all of them. All right, but the front line, or I should say D-line of the Chiefs, they actually played well this game. I don't know if it's because the offensive line of the 49ers is not top tier or top 10, or they're able to hold blocks. Whatever it was, the receivers were still open. Jimmy G just ain't had the time. And unfortunately, in this game, he tore his ACL and his MCL. He's gone for the season. So a speedy recovery for you. We're not going to see you at the end of this season. Obviously, we got to look towards next year. Unfortunate for the 49ers. But if I were you guys, a 49ers fan, I would still have confidence because this is a very young team. They still fought their way back after being in a huge hole. They didn't win the game, but they still were able to win what I believe was the second half. Or I should say the third quarter, halfway through the fourth, because that's when Jimmy G got hurt and all the scoring stopped. But nonetheless, all right, they did okay for themselves. Well, congratulations to the Chiefs. You guys are 3-0. Next, Raiders, Dolphins. John Gruden, what the hell's going on? No Gruden grinders. There's no Gruden grinders at all. Okay? They blew the lead once again. First game of the season, they went into halftime, marvelous, playing well. Second half came out, played flat. Third game, they played against the goddamn Dolphins. What happened? First half, played well. Second half, not so much. Albert Wilson pulled a Tyreek Hill, paid homage to his old teammate, gave a high five on the way to the end zone after, a 60-plus yard touchdown, maybe 70-plus yard touchdown. They ran trick plays, threw the ball to Jakeem Grant, Albert Wilson was able to throw the ball to Jakeem Grant. Oakland's defense is not getting penetration. They never got to Tannehill. I think they sacked him a couple of times. But second half, I don't remember seeing Tannehill's jersey getting anything dirty on it. You guys got to play defense. Offensively, Marshawn Lynch should be over 100 yards. I don't know why they're not handing the ball to him. I don't know why they're not handing the ball to him. Give him all those goddamn carries. Let him eat. Amari Cooper, I don't know what the deal is with this man. He's hot, then he's cold. He's yes, then he's no. He's in, then he's out. He's up, then he's down. Katy Perry. I can't deal with this man. He's too inconsistent for me. Derek Vehicle's doing what he got to do, but guys got to show up. Jared Cook is still eating. He's doing him, but Gruden, this falls on you. This falls on you offensively. There's no reason why with this offense you're not putting up at least 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30 points per game. There's no reason why. You should be in between that range. You got the pieces there. You got the pieces. It's not like the offensive line is a bunch of slouches. You still got a very good old line. You should be able to formulate the plays, but all you want to run is that spider Y banana and stuff you ran down in Tampa. Your quarterback's not Randy Johnson, buddy. Brad Johnson, not Randy. Randy Johnson's the pitcher, but they still throwing, so obviously you can understand the confusion. But nonetheless, this ain't Tampa. Make your damn Oakland offense work. Seriously. But congratulations to the Miami Dolphins. Do I believe they're as good a 3-0 as other 3-0 teams are? No. But they're 3-0. They should be congratulated for winning their games. Next, Colts, Eagles. The Eagles hold on once again. First game back for Carson Wentz. The knee looks well. He was moving around. He was getting harassed in the backfield. I believe he got sacked, 5 times? Something like that. They were getting at him. He was running out, in, cutting, all that other stuff. But the knee looks okay. They were able to hold on. The defense got another goal line stand, like I said a little bit earlier, but for the Colts, they look good. Andrew Luck is back. All right, because every game that they've played this season, they have been in the game, with the exception of the first one where they blew it. They completely blew it, but they were in that game. They should have won that game against Cincinnati. But nonetheless, this final possession, offensive line did all right, and then he got hit. Luck couldn't keep his balance, hit the floor, sacked. They got the ball back, but you were completely way out of position to even try to do anything. So kudos to the Eagles. That run game still got to get going, but you know, they did it last year, running back by committee. They're running with their system. Wentz is back, so expect to see Ertz in that red zone. And I don't know what it is. When the Eagles get into the red zone, if you're playing against them, you might want to guard a damn tight end. Because that Dallas, what is it, Go Burt, whatever the hell it is. That man saw the end zone. He about to start seeing the end zone a whole lot. All right, Brett Selleck, he retired. So, of course, this man's going to be the second guy catching all the other touchdowns behind Zach Ertz, of course. And on top of that, we don't even know when Jeffrey's coming back. So we'll find out. The pieces are still going to be there. The stars might just align for Wentz, and he might just have an MVP season similar to last year as well. But hopefully, he stays healthy this year. We don't want to see great talents get hurt. Next. Congratulations to the Eagles, I might add. Next, Titans took on the Jaguars. And what I tell you, if Mariota plays, the Titans are going to win this game. Why? Because the Jaguars cannot beat the Titans. Let me not say cannot, because they beat them in the past. Last year, not so much, because they got swept in the series. But the Titans know how to play the Jacksonville Jaguars well. All right, they know how to cover well. They know their scheme well. And this is a first W for Mike Vrabel. All right, so I really enjoyed watching the Titans dismantle that Jacksonville offense, all right? But they couldn't run the ball because, you know, Fournette's not back yet. And I don't know what the timeline of Fournette's injury is going to be. I don't know how long he's going to be out. I haven't seen anything briefing me on when he's coming back or the severity of his injury, but I don't think Yeldon's going to be enough to get them to run the ball. So Bortles is going to have to, you know, start slinging it. And as we know with Bortles, if you start slinging it too much, he might turn back into what he used to be, and that's Mr. Pick Six, after he took that for Matt Schaub. So we'll see how things play out. But for the Tennessee Titans, good win for you guys. Very good win for you guys. I can't sing too many high, that doesn't really sound audible, but I can't sing high praises for you guys because this game was more of it, you know, when you have rivalry games and the teams know each other well, you just happen to know that team. Now, if we put Tennessee out there against New England, I don't think they're going to replicate the same success. But hey, I could be wrong. But nonetheless, we're not here to bash the teams that won. They won those games. They should be congratulated. So congratulations to the Tennessee Titans. Well-deserved victory. 9-6 in a game where field goals decided it. Nobody went to the end zone. So if you had any of those starters on your fantasy team, you're a dummy. So next, we're moving on to the Bengals that took on the Panthers in a game that the Panthers won. And Christian McCaffrey had 184 yards on the ground. I did not know he had 184 yards on the ground. I thought it was total. I had no clue it was simply on the ground. Cincinnati, what the hell's going on? All right, you paid Dunlap. You paid Atkins. You got Kirkpatrick over there outside. Guard somebody. Stop somebody. What's going on? All right, but the Panthers offense, well-oiled machine. Cam Newton got into the end zone. I believe he ran it in himself twice. He threw 2 touchdowns. I know he hit bunches. McCaffrey got to find his way into the end zone. I don't know what it is. He only scored like 2 touchdowns on the ground his entire career. It's only been 2 years, or I should say a year and 3 games, but he's got to get into the end zone, got to translate all those yards into points. And on top of that, unfortunate for the Panthers, since Greg Olsen's still not back because he refractured his damn, I don't know if it's refractured, but he hurt what was his fractured foot from last year. And this was, I believe it was week 1 that he got hurt, so I don't know what the timeline on him coming back is, but it is pivotal that he's going to be in that lineup. But Cam has been able to do it without a big-time target because they ended up going 15-1, went to the Super Bowl without Kelvin Benjamin. So we'll see how things work. I'm hoping the Panthers can continue to finish in the end zone because that's what cost them the playoff game against New Orleans last year. So defensively, they're getting some turnovers here. They are. Their D-line is where it starts, and their D-line is playing good football. Their linebacking core is doing all right too. The secondary, primarily the safeties, are covering, but the corners are still the weak point because since Norman left, they haven't had good corners. So I'm hoping the corners can start to play good football because this NFC South is gonna be entertaining. So for the Panthers, congratulations on the win. Now next, Cincinnati. You had an injury to AJ Green. Some Something happened to his groin. I hope it's not anything serious, but they need this man if they want to make moves, because Joe Mixon is still hurt. All right? He's still hurt. So Giovanni Bernard's going to be getting majority of the carries. Bernard's not a bad back. However, he's always a compliment to whoever the hell the main back is. So when it was Hill, Giovanni Bernard was in their third down or two back formations, and he really excelled. If he's getting the if he's getting the premium of the carries, I don't think he's going to be able to perform as well, especially late in the game. He'll look good the first 2 quarters. After he starts getting banged up, I don't think he can hang. All right, but I could be wrong. Tyler Eifert, he's not the Pro Bowl tight end that he once was. And Andy Dalton, he's still playing all right football. He turned the ball over, what was it, 3-4 times he turned the ball over this past game? Whatever it was. Some can be attributed as your fault, the others can't, but you just can't turn the ball over like that. The first 2 weeks of the season, you played good football. This week, you're up and down, but it's your first loss. You can always bounce back, so we'll see how things play out, but congratulations to the Panthers. First win on the season. Saints, Falcons, defenses were not present in this game. Matt Ryan, 5 touchdowns. Drew Brees, I believe he threw 4, ran for 1. It was a phenomenal game. Phenomenal game. I really enjoyed watching how this unfolded. Matter of fact, no, I think Brees threw 3 touchdowns. Whatever it was, it doesn't matter. Whether it was 3 or 4, they won the doggone game. In overtime, this man did the old man spin move. Let me press circle, spin around you, and go into the end zone to tie up the game right before overtime happened. And then they went into overtime and won. I'll say this about the Falcons. Calvin Ridley, he's looking like a stud. He is looking like a stud. Remember when Roddy White was the guy, and then Julio came in as a rookie, and everybody was like, Julio! And then now, Julio has now become Roddy White, and everybody look at Calvin, but Julio's still Julio. So they got themselves a great 1-2 punch, or I should say 1-3, because Mohamed Sanu is still number 2, but for some apparent reason, he's not getting all those numbers. What's the deal? Get the ball to Mohamed Sanu. Devontae Freeman, I don't know if he's still hurt. Is he still hurt? Because I didn't see anything about Devontae Freeman. Tevin Coleman was in the game majority of the time. I think Devontae Freeman's still hurt. So if anybody knows the timeline on when he comes back, because he is a pivotal piece. I do believe in Coleman. He's able to run the football effectively, but I think they need Devontae Freeman to really complete that offense. But defensively, the Falcons, they have too many injuries. Sorry, this season, y'all gonna miss the playoffs, because you need those pieces on defense. You need Keanu Neal. You need Deion Jones. Them not being there is gonna be tough. It's gonna be really tough. You can always rise up above the injuries, but I don't know, man. As for the Saints, they're playing good football. Defensively, they got to get it figured out, because this defense is looking a lot like the days when Rob Ryan was running the place. And you don't want to have a defense that looks like that. But nonetheless, congratulations for the New Orleans Saints. You guys got yourselves that W. Next, we had as my phone is loading and dying at the exact same time, so let's accelerate this. We got the battle in California. I should say in LA. The Chargers taking on the Rams in an offensive explosion for the Rams once again. This offense is going to probably be the highest scoring offense in the league for years to come. Greatest show on grass, maybe, because Todd Gurley, all world, this man activating his dreadlock powers. He can run the ball. He can catch the ball out of the backfield. Honestly, in my opinion, it's him and Le'Veon Bell, 1 and 2, as the best backs in the league. Darn near interchangeable. Bell's not playing football right now, so Todd Gurley is the best running back in football right now, and it's not even close to anybody else who's playing. A lot of people talk about, but think on the Cowboys. We going to the Super Bowl. No, all right? And on top of that, Jared Goff, very comfortable in the pocket. He has good pieces there. And on top of that, you bring in somebody like a Brandon Cooks, who's a vertical threat down the field. What the hell? Nobody's guarding this man. He's the whole goddamn arrow down the field. You gotta guard him. All right, as for the Chargers, defensively, you gotta stop somebody. Stop somebody. Mental errors. Guys not turning around, guys blowing coverages. This was a game that should have been a shootout in which the Chargers could have possibly won, but mental errors cost them this game. As for the Rams, you had injuries. Aqib Talib, Marcus Peters, they're both down. I heard something about Talib with surgery. So I don't know when this man will be back. I don't know what the deal with Peters is, but those are two big hits on the defensive side. But they didn't really lose anybody else, I believe, from their corners before. So maybe Joyner might have to, I'm not only going to be in the slot, I'm going to move out to the outside. So they're going to have to figure that out. But those are two big blows to their defense. But the defensive line still looking very elite. All right, you got Sue up there. You got Donald up there. They're killing people, killing offensive lines. The linebacking core is looking all right, although I do miss seeing Ogletree over there. I think their linebackers are enough to, not necessarily get them over the hump, but they can sustain, missing that guy, that beast in the middle. But offensively, the Rams look phenomenal. For the Chargers, offensively, they're able to move the ball. Melvin Gordon, you got to get some more yards on the ground. But Keenan Allen getting separation here and there. But I'm not too worried if I'm a Chargers fan. I just defensively got to play better. The defense it's kind of like the Chiefs, but the difference between them and the Chiefs, they give up yards, they don't give up points. The Chargers, they give up yards and they give up points. So they got to get that fixed. Next, Bears, Cardinals. Cardinals, you had this game, but the Bears happened to come back. They were resilient. Khalil Mack, this man has caused a turnover every single game. Somebody should block him. Hey, I heard Oakland needs some pass rushes. Maybe there's a Gruden grinder out there for you. But nonetheless, the Cardinals, you had the injury to Bradford, or whatever reason they ended up taking him out. Rosen came in the game. He's going to need some time. He's going to start now, so we'll see how things play out for him. But for the Bears, offensively, Trubisky, I know you're young. You got to start to get into the groove of things, because I can't continue to say how excited I am for this Bears team, but the quarterback play isn't backing the excitement behind it, because you got some receivers now. Kevin White is actually healthy. You got Allen Robinson, who's here now. Howard and Cohen. Yeah, it is. Is it Cohen? Is it Tariq Cohen? Yeah, whatever it was. I think his last name is Cohen. Yeah, Cohen. Yeah, it's Cohen. So nonetheless, I'll probably edit it out. I'm not gonna edit it out because I don't got no goddamn editor. But nonetheless, Trubisky, you gotta play better. The defense looking phenomenal, but you gotta play better. As for Arizona, hey buddy, you guys probably gonna win like 4 games this year, because it's a clusterfuck over there. But congratulations to the Bears. Next, Cowboys, Seahawks, in a game where the Seahawks dominated. All right, Cam Chancellor showed up. I believe this was their first home game of the season. Cam Chancellor came out, raised the damn 12, and the Seattle Seahawks was playing on 10. Errol Thomas barely showed up to practice. He came out there, had 2 picks. They played well. Offensively, they still can't run the ball, because I don't know who the hell's starting running back for them. I think it's Carson now, but they got to get that done. But through the air, they did okay, but I'm not really sold on the Seattle offense. Defensively, they look good, but they're playing against a very bad Dallas Cowboys team. Let me say this, without Travis Frederick up front, that Dallas offensive line is completely in peril. It's ridiculous. Tyron Smith is still doing his stuff outside. Martin is still doing his thing at guard. Everybody else needs to go. You guys got to find a suitable backup center, because I don't know what the hell I was watching. Dak doesn't have any time. Now, he's throwing inaccurate balls here and there, but the 2 picks, guys are simply not catching the football, man. You gotta catch the football. I'll tell you this, Dallas needs a receiver, and I hear Dez is available. He's their best receiving option right now. They better go call somebody, because they need help. They really need help. Put your pride aside, call the man, bring him on back. I don't care if he told me, I don't want to come back. I don't want a big time crowd. Boy, you know you want to play some football. You better get your ass off your couch, show up to Dallas, and start playing some damn football, because it's atrocious what I'm seeing right now. Zeke is running the ball. Well, he did have a costly turnover. He's running the ball all right, but the offensive line is struggling right now. They need Frederick back, because that center position, you're seeing how important it is up front for that offensive line. Next, Patriots and Lions. This game in particular, matter of fact, no, before I get into Patriots and Lions, let me just say Ravens and Broncos, because this phone is definitely about to die. Yeah, it's on 6%, so I'll just remember the primetime ones for after. Let me put my goddamn phone down. Now, Ravens and Broncos. This game, the Broncos started and came out hot. I believe they were up 14-0. But then the Ravens, resilience came in. They scored 27 points unanswered? Was it 27 unanswered? Whatever it was. I don't remember, it was 14 something. Whether it was 14-7, 14-0, whatever it was. The second half on, the Broncos had virtually no offense. No offense. They weren't moving the ball. They weren't getting turnovers. None of that. The Ravens came out. They played well. All right. They activated the dreadlock powers of Alex Collins. They did good playing down the stretch. However, I'll say this about the Ravens. You guys can't continue to start slow. Cannot continue to start slow. Especially, I understand how good that defense is, but you can't continue to start slow. When you come out the gates, you gotta come out hard. Put your foot down on the throttle. You can't say, oh, we a second half team. Sooner or later, you're gonna be down 35 points going into the second half, and now your offense got an uphill battle. And that offense, you know, I really gotta get myself a timer and just put it right behind the camera, have it up in the air so I know how much time I have remaining. Cause the damn thing cut off and my dumb ass went for like 5 to 6, 7 more minutes talking to my goddamn self. But nonetheless, like I was talking about the Ravens, cause I had to go back and look at what point it cut off. But the offense, I don't believe this one of them offenses that's enough to bring back the team every single time. Cause I look at it like this. Flacco takes it down the field about once, and then after that for about 3 to 4 other possessions, it's either 3 and outs, 4 or 5 plays, then you punt the ball, or possibly a field goal from the best field goal kicker in the league, and Justin Tucker, which I believe this week when they're coming to play against the Pittsburgh Steelers, I'm going to make sure I can get in contact with somebody in Pittsburgh. So the opera is going to be playing, get this man distracted so he's too busy at the opera, and all of a sudden it's time to kick a field goal, and it's going to end up like that college team or that high school team where they're looking around for the kicker and they can't find Justin Tucker because we cannot have this man kicking kicks in Heinz Field. But we talk about that a little bit later. Nonetheless, this Ravens team, you can't continue to go slow and start the game slow. Next, we go on to the Sunday Night Football game. The New England Patriots taking on the Detroit Lions in a masterful game coached by Matt Patricia. All right, he followed the blueprint of how to beat these Patriots teams. If you're able to generate a pass rush with your only able to generate a pass rush with your defensive line, you can beat this Patriots team, because if you're able to drop 7 into coverage, Brady's going to have issues. The defensive line played a masterful game, magnificent game, pulchritudinous game, beautiful. All right, they were able to beat up this Patriots O-line. Granted, there are some injuries here and there, but when you suit up and you go out there to play football, whoever's on the field, you gotta play. You knew you were coming into this week, this person was missing. It's it's not like you guys went into the game and you started losing pieces during the game. There's a difference between an in-game injury versus an out-of-game injury, or I should say an in-game injury in which you have to readjust your entire game plan in the midst of the game, versus losing somebody in practice or the week prior and having a week to prepare knowing that person's not going to play. Huge difference. All right, the Patriots have been able to win games going into games without big time players. They did it with Gronk, they did it with Edelman, they did it with all kinds of guys. All right, but as for the Patriots defensively, I'm not really too worried, because it's the same thing that's happened over the course of the past, 3 years? Defensively, they start terrible for the first quarter of the season, then they figure it out, and down the line, they start to play very good football because Belichick knows how to call defenses. Remember, this man is the same guy who won 2 Super Bowls with that Giants team. All right, so Lawrence Taylor, that is, for the young people. What are you, Giants? No, the Giants beat the Patriots. So basically, offensively, Brady should be livid. The fact that you only scored 10 points against this Lions defense. I'll say this about Josh McDaniels. I don't know what these calls were. There were times where it was 2nd and long, 3rd and long, or 3rd and 6 or 7 and stuff like that. And you saw hands off to Sony Michel, or we're going to do, what are these calls? What are these calls? You got Tom in Brady over there. Throw the ball to Gronk or something. How much catches did Gronk have? 4 for like 50 yards? Ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. Now, if I'm a Patriots fan, I'm not too worried because it's the first quarter of the season. Remember, a couple years back, it was on to Cincinnati, and then they turned around and we went on to a Super Bowl trophy. So I'm not really too worried if you're a Patriots fan. All right, but big time win for the Lions, something that should be congratulated. Hand clapping to Matt Patricia. Your first win was against your former coach. Now, final game of the season. Whoa, the season ends after week 3? There's a lockout. The final game of week 3, Pittsburgh Steelers took on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I'll say this about the game. It was a great ebb and flow, back and forth, but the Steelers should have blown this game out of the water. This should have been a 47-0 burger. Because once Fitzmagic kept giving the ball away, there was no reason why that Edmonds interception didn't turn into points. There's no reason why Boswell missing all those doggone kicks. I'll be talking about that a little bit later. But defensively for the Steelers, the defensive back's not turning around. There should have been a couple of interceptions. I might add, for Tampa Bay, guys were dropping the football. Godwin dropped 2 touchdowns that should have been caught. This man's bugging. On top of that, the referees, atrocious. roughing the passer calls. I believe there was 4 or 5. Pittsburgh with the penalties, ridiculous. All right, you had there was a hold call that called back a punt return. And when I watched it, initially I said, that's not a hold. That should have been a touchdown. But watching it back a couple of times, especially when I put it in the commentary, it's ridiculous. That's a big time hold. You got to be smart. What are you doing? What's his name? Isaiah Johnson? Was that what it was? Ridiculous. If you're watching this, which you're probably not, you're a dummy! But nonetheless, all right? The Bucs, defensively, they're in peril. They need help. Their D-line, great. Their linebackers, good. Their secondary, bad. I don't know what the deal is. Because Quan Alexander, Levante David, those two, they can play football. I don't know why. And Gerald McCoy too, JPP. There's another name that's on the defensive line that I'm forgetting right now. But those guys, they can play good football. It's almost the same problem the Pittsburgh Steelers have. Because your front seven is playing good football, but your back half is playing bad. You got one good corner in Tampa being Brent Grimes. You got one good corner in Pittsburgh being Joe Hayden. It's very funny how similar both teams are. Offensively for the Bucs, if I'm you guys, I'm rolling with Fitzmagic. I recognize that's a bit contradictory to what I said last time. When I said, you know what, Jameis Winston's coming back, I would put Winston back in the game. I was giving it some thought. Winston really needs to know that he can lose his job because he's been playing very comfortable. For his rookie year, he came in, he turned some stuff up, but since then, he hasn't really played that well. He needs to know he can lose his job. So if I was, you know, the head coach of the Bucs, I think I'm going to roll with Fitzmagic because look at it like this. He leads the league in passing. The Buccaneers are still putting up a ton of points. They're putting up a ton of yardage. They just got to get that run game figured out because I don't think Peyton Barber is going to be enough to really get stuff going. I don't know if Jacquizz Rodgers is still there. I think he's not. Or maybe he's hurt, whatever it was, because I wasn't really feeling Jacquizz Rodgers anyway. But they got to get another back in there. Maybe get a two-headed monster sort of thing. But airing the ball out, you got studs. I don't know why there wasn't more down the field passes to Deshaun Jackson, because who the hell's running with him? Mike Evans, you saw the success there. There was 3 different occasions in which they had vertical passes down the field to Mike Evans that resulted in huge, big-time yardage. All right, you got O.J. Howard, you got Cameron Brate. Brate is really only in the game for short yardage situations, whether it's the red zone or you got yourself 3 and 5s or 3rd and 5s, for much better way to say it. But yeah, situations like that. O.J. Howard, that man's going to be a stud too. But hey, if I'm you guys, I'm rolling with Fitzpatrick. As for the Steelers, you should have put this game away. No reason why you're getting shut out in the second half. Gotta play smart. Got to play smart. It wasn't necessarily the play calls, because I recognize you got injuries on the offensive line. You can't run the ball the way you want to. Big Ben threw the ball 38 times. Very accurate, because he was 30 for 38, 353 yards. But no reason why you should be throwing that ball that many times. Second half, I should have seen more handoff to Connor. I recognize we're trying to burn out the clock here, but hey, gotta play smart football. As for Antonio Brown, again, you see Juju Smith-Schuster over 100 yards, but Antonio Brown not over 100 yards. They're doubling him. They got all that other stuff going on. But if you recognize when Le'Veon Bell was in the game, Antonio, although he was double covered, it worked well in the scheme because Le'Veon ran certain routes that the linebacker or the safety had to keep their eyes on them. They don't believe in Connor that way. That's why Antonio's struggling. But, you know, I have confidence they'll get stuff figured out. Defensively, for the cornerbacks out there in Pittsburgh, outside of Joe Hayden, I think Sensabaugh, I think Artie Burns, yeah, they need to be thrown out of Pittsburgh. See, some people, do you want them to get lynched? No, they need to be gone. I need them out. All right? Perhaps, I heard there's a rapper out there. What does he call himself? Kid Boo, one of my friends showed me the videos the other day. He said he was a clone. Well, if you can point me to the lab in which you were cloned, I would like to bring Joe Hayden so I can make another Joe Hayden. Perhaps we can make 2 Joe Haydens, and there's 3 Joe Haydens, one playing cornerback, one in the slot cornerback, or hell, put that one at safety. Whatever the hell it is, we need good cornerbacks. Sensabaugh and goddamn Burns need to leave. Ain't gonna let nobody turn me around. Because if you turned around, you could have caught yourself some goddamn interceptions. Dummies! But the front 7 played very well. However, like I said in my post-game analysis, guys gotta get conditioned. Because the first half, the blitz was hitting. Guys were full throttle, moving fast. Second half came, what happened? Y'all were on E. The gas station evidently broke down. There's no oil that they found in the Middle East. You can't pump your gas. What the hell was happening? People were burnt out in the third quarter. You just came out of halftime. How the hell you burnt out? You had a huge rest. It's not like you was in halftime doing a bunch of moves. You weren't doing the goddamn insanity workout in halftime. You guys are chilling, relaxing, eating oranges, getting your energy back. Come on, man. Get well conditioned. Get well conditioned. But good victory for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Oh, did I point out the hold and the? Yeah, I think I pointed that out with the penalties and all the other stuff. Oh, now I remember. Nick Folk, special teams. Nick Folk, Jesus Christ. Chris Boswell. What the hell's going on? Evidently, you must have been studying at a man's shirt who happened to be my same color. You went to his university, his kicking university. I understand he has a residency down there in Raymond James Stadium. You can't keep playing like that. I can't regulate it to only this game because the past 2 games, you're missing a bunch of field goals. All right? What the hell's the matter with you? Make your doggone kicks. If you make kicks, the Pittsburgh Steelers are 2-1, not 1-1. Get it together, man. Get it together. But nonetheless, big time win for the Pittsburgh Steelers, one that they really needed going into next week where it's a big time rivalry game. But nonetheless, I want to get up out of here because I got other stuff I got to take care of for you guys. So, this has been your NFL Week 3 post-game analysis. I am your host and CEO and founder of Hold My Nugget Studios Incorporated. Everything dealing with holding nuggets. I am the diligent, vigilant, meticulous, sagacious, conscientious, analytical, methodical individual, the Chiseled Adonis, and I'm signing out. Or I should say logging out. Well, then again, I'm not really logging out because who logs out anymore? You just open up your computer, you're already on your site. You know what? Yeah, I'll leave now.